To be honest, I'm Giannis inside of game 6. Dropping 50 and dunking over your main. Earnhardt Jr. when I'm deciding the lane switch. Tell them people that I'm on top of the game. Manifested my future by spewing all of my pain. Carry my own umbrella, surviving treacherous rain. Landed on higher learner, matriculate in the bigger earnest. So after dark helps you to find your purpose. And find what work is, and find the surface. When deeper in it, I'm heavy with ashes, burning curses. Built up our name so forever we reign, and since we working. Ain't tripping off your affiliation, we welcome verses. In lieu of playing, we saying our way to sign a merchant. Then personal seats in the meet and greets with our favorite person. Link with DG, he the chief, but can't see we do it right. So after dark, from the mic to your heart to Hollywood.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Sports After Dark After Hours. We back, baby. We back on a Tuesday. Got the club in it. Y'all remember that? That song had the world in a chokehold.
On the yeah, for sure. That was $2 Tuesdays, happy hour. We was outside.
That joint had the world in a chokehold. Lou don't remember that because Lou was probably in like second grade when that joint came out.
That's crazy.
Bro, what?
Lou, ain't you like, how old are you?
Bro, you like 3 years older than me. What are you talking about?
Oh, my bad. I be forgetting.
I'm about to turn 30. Like, what are you? I'm about to turn 34, dog. What are you talking about?
I don't know why in my mind you were like,
bro,
little bro. I mean, technically, but you know.
Bro, stop trying me.
All right, my bad. What's up, y'all? We appreciate y'all for tuning in to Sports After Dark After Hours. Once again, we are back on a Tuesday. We got some great guests coming tonight. Again, this is Sports After Dark's After Hours edition of Media Row, since we're not out at the Super Bowl. So we're talking all things Super Bowl this week when we do go live. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are on. Damn, I forgot to push the live button on Instagram. I always forget. But we're about to go live on Instagram, but we are live on Twitter and we are live on YouTube right now. So appreciate y'all. If you're looking on Twitter, retweet, make sure that you get this out on go to the YouTube page, like, subscribe, share. While you're at it, hit the browse on your phone and go get some merch. You'd be able to do that and get some hoodies and mugs and all that good stuff.
The
hat.
I'm copping me a hat this week and a hoodie.
Yeah. So make sure that you go and do that. Also, make sure that you are tuned in or tapped into our Instagram page, Sports After Dark, the number 4. And make sure you join the community, Sports After Dark community. And make sure that you check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. These shows are on those platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure that you tap in. I'm really excited, guys, because again, day 2 of our own personal media week, and we have our guy Darren Smith, reporter for the Kansas City Chiefs, recently viral for putting Roger Goodell on the spot. I got to talk to him about that.
I loved every minute of it.
Get him on. He's already backstage. I'm just about to bring him in. You know what I'm saying? But
I loved every minute of it.
Yeah. We gonna get Darren on, and then right after that, we got Eric Crocker, former Jets player, host of Locked In on 49ers. So we got Chiefs representatives here, and then we got 49ers representatives here joining us tonight. So I'm really, really excited, guys. Y'all feeling good? Feeling great?
Oh, yeah, it's lit.
Let's get it.
We here. Lil, you really low.
Oh, I am?
Like what? Turn that mic up.
This joint might
How DJ don't got a hoodie?
Right?
Oh,
get you
know
one.
What? That's crazy.
Wow.
DJ need to get him a hoodie.
That's crazy, DG. We appreciate y'all for being in the DG's in the comments, but we got enough viewers for me saying that we appreciate y'all being here.
What about now? I'm still low?
No, you sound better.
Are you good now?
You sound better now. So luckily for us, Darren is backstage. I'm about to bring him on now. Darren is live from the Super Bowl, man. Of course he is, because he reports for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the one year, and I'm gonna tell him this when he get on. Damn it, Darren, stay home. Can you stay home 1 year? Can you stay home 1 year? Y'all should see him in the background. Like, I'm about to bring him on.
I bet he's laughing right now.
He's crazy. But look, he's live. He's on Media Row. He's in Vegas. I'm bringing him on.
First of all, it's Radio Row. Don't act like you don't know. Ain't no Media Row. It's Radio Row. You know what I'm saying? It's Radio Row. So I ain't trying to check you or nothing like that. But it's Radio Row. And look, Look, let me tell you, if it wasn't for you, Ashley, okay, because I had to tell Mary's people, you know what I'm saying? Because one, they late, they run on CP time or God, I don't
Well,
know
you know
what it
how
is,
we
but
do.
they running late, you know what I'm saying? And they doing some interviews, and I said, look, I'm on the air till 5:30. You had your opportunity. Now you gotta wait. So we'll be doing Kirk Franklin at 5:45. But they say his plane is running late. I'm like, wait a second, when is we be doing interviews on the red carpet today? You know, or rehearsal. So I don't know what's going on with that. But when they come, they know they gotta wait. So I'm
Oh,
here.
what? Look, we ain't gonna hold you super duper long. I told you that
No,
already.
no. I said they went to 5:30
Okay.
because Ashley Baker and the crew they got it to 5:30 or local time 8:30 time. So
Yeah, we
let's get it on and
appreciate
popping.
Yeah,
you.
we appreciate you for that. We appreciate you for
Thank
that
you
for
so
sure.
much for being on. Again, this is Mr. Darren Smith, man. He's the chief reporter and sports radio host on KLKC Radio. I'm pretty sure Chiefs Kingdom. Listen, when Hev and I went to the draft, from what I saw, Hev, I don't know if you were able to see this as much because me and Mark we were backstage at the draft, but this man is like KC royalty. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. They love him some Darren Smith down in KC. And
we call him the legend from K. We call him the legend from KC. He's a legend from KC.
I don't know about all that, but y'all just call me Darren, you know what I'm saying? And we go to Gates, so we might get a nice discount,
Hey.
We
let me tell you something. I could go to Gates, okay? I can run that back for sure.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Hey, see, I had to tell y'all how good that joint was, how good KC barbecue was, because y'all wasn't buying it to the hype. Y'all wasn't buying it to the hype from the Kansas City people.
I wasn't until we went, and I was sold.
Hey, listen, that was the best part of me being in the Midwest when I was out there, man. Going to Kansas City, give me some barbecue.
So again, we appreciate you for jumping on, Darren. We know you're busy as I don't know what out there on Radio Row during Super Bowl Media Week, and your team is back there. Like I said in the back when you were sitting in the back, I'm gonna say it in your face because this is how we do. Stay home one year. Y'all every day again. You out there again.
Look, I'll admit, I don't really have much to do with what takes place on the field, since I don't have nothing to do with it. But me and Mahomes got a little arrangement. He gets the team to the Super Bowl. He doesn't have to come to Radio Row and sit down and chat with me. That's the deal that we made a while back. So, because, when they lost to Tom Brady and them, I said, man, you need to come. Man, I plan on playing in the Super Bowl next year. And it's been like that, for the next 5 years. So, so that's the promise that we made to each other. As long as he wins, gets the team to the Super Bowl, he ain't got to come sit next to me, which is cool. Now, people hate it, but I don't mind free trips to the Super Bowl.
Hey, I feel that.
Oh man, I ain't mad at that.
There's a lot of people out there based off of what took place yesterday. Real mad right now. I hope your credentials get taken. Well, it ain't.
I do want to say something about that.
Yeah, it ain't.
We gonna get there though.
We definitely got.
I know. I'm just letting folks know that it ain't that kind of party.
Before we get there though, I do want just the condensed version, if you may. I want us to get to know Darren a little bit. Like, how did you get going in this, and how long have you been in the business? Where did you start? And honestly, I think the people, I love asking us, like, where are you going? Where did it start? Where you at? Where you going? Talk to us.
Okay, well, I'll be honest. I'll try to give you as real condensed as possible. I got started my sophomore year in high school. I'll date myself. This was back in the fall of '93. So my sophomore year in high school, Central High School. Athletically, I played football, I ran track, and I was on our Olympic weightlifting team in Kansas City. Basketball was never really my thing, but I had a cousin who was an All-American, and so, you hang out all the time. So I was the team manager, got to travel, do all the other good stuff. And so one of the things I always liked to do, I was always smart, so I always liked to read newspapers. I was still a newspaper from a neighbor or whatever before the bus came, run, snatch it, be on the bus, reading sports page, all that good stuff. So my basketball coach told me, he said, Smith, you might not make it to the pros, but I'm gonna give you an opportunity to do something that'll keep you in that field. And he called our black sports director at the local black radio station, KPRS in Kansas City, had him come up to the school because the guy used to play for him. And he told him, this is Smith, Darren, essentially. He's like, I want him to intern under you. Next thing I know, The following week, he brings me up a credential. I'm covering the Kansas City Chiefs with him, and that was 30 years ago. So
Damn,
I've been doing.
dope.
So I fell in love with it, and I was like, I said, okay. So I was like, I don't want to do nothing. If I don't make it, I said, I don't want to do nothing. This is what I'm gonna do. Always be around to be able to cover it. I, grew up loving and watching sports and stuff. So I always wanted to be close to it in somehow, some way. When I went to college, I grew up in a political household, so I double majored in poli-sci and journalism, and did both. While I was in college, and I had an internship. I had 2 internships. My junior year going to my senior year that I had to choose from, either ESPN or the White House, and I wore, I ended up going to the White House. Now I have a younger brother. Always says, I think maybe life would have been different if I don't went the ESPN route. I probably I'd be here in some shape, form, or fashion, but maybe be television, maybe something else. But I don't regret the road that I've taken. And so, where am I going? I don't know. I mean, after yesterday, it probably won't be the NFL Network, but but to be quite honest, I love what I do, man. I mean, I get a chance to cover the Chiefs, the Royals, Sporting KC Current, KU football, basketball, and and when a team like the Chiefs have been, growing up, when I started this growing up, I always wanted. I used to write for newspaper and take picture stuff. I always wanted to cover Super Bowl. Could never get approved. And I was, but then as soon as Mahomes came, and I covered one Super Bowl before Mahomes, but then since he's been there, I've covered the last 6 Super Bowls. So it's like, I love it, and I'm like, and I tell him, I say, hey, bro, I need you to get me to New Orleans now next year, So that's just how it is. So and I tell people all the time, I say, I know we're going to talk about it, but to be all the time that there were people who helped me when I got started along the way. And so it's only right that I in turn return the favor to try to bring other people along. And one of the things that I take pride in myself doing is that I don't charge people, for my time to come on to their podcast shows or anything like that, because I was in that position one time where I reached out to a Jared Bell or Jamel Hill or, someone to come on my show. I had the money and they did it, they blessed me with their time. So I can't in good conscience, do something like that to somebody else. So anybody, I don't care if they have 2 viewers or whatever, I'll still jump on their podcast, if time permits, schedule wise, and I'll do it, and I'll, even if it's on my phone in the car or at the casino or something, if I have to do somebody's show like that, I'll do it.
Well, that's amazing. That's definitely
dope.
Amazing. Paying it forward, you know what I'm saying? Sure. There's so many there's a lot of people in this industry that don't do that, Darren, that ain't built like that. You know what I'm saying? That you got to pay.
I know one thing. I'll say this, because sometimes Sports After Dark be up to 2:00 in the morning, and when I hit the request button, it take them 2 hours to get me on. I ain't trying to flex or nothing, but you don't have me when I'm covering the Chiefs game on the road. Leave me on hold for 2 hours.
Like I ain't got something to say. I knew this was coming.
You gonna talk about the Chiefs like I wasn't there.
Listen,
hey, Darren, we got you next time.
Listen,
we got you, brother.
Darren be holding us down though. Darren definitely be jumping in Sports After Dark when he can, and we always appreciate that because you definitely he's a regular for real. He a regular as much as he can be. So we definitely appreciate it. But I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say, y'all leave me. I knew that. I already knew that.
Well, at the request button, it shouldn't take long for
Can I tell you something about let me tell you something about the Sports After Dark Twitter crew, and a lot of them is in these comments. They got ADHD real bad. Like they can't stay on topic. They don't do that. They don't stay on topic. They go.
Bro, why you throwing me in?
Wow, you just gonna throw us in?
Hey, look,
listen, Darren, I'm trying to be the stern one here.
That's crazy, Lou.
Hold on. The funniest thing about Sports After Dark, I'll be sitting there thinking, and I'm like, when I'm on, I'll be like, you got to mute everybody because folks just be dropping, naysayers, and I'll be like, man, I'm like, come on, man, and I'll be like,
that's why that's exclusively on Twitter.
Hold on. But I tell them, I'm like, y'all know we got company up in these spaces, like, yo, like y'all don't be cared at all.
But you know what's crazy is the company. Like when I talk to them on the side there, they always be like, "We love it. keep it raw.
I know. I
it's
love it too.
Crazy. They love it. They love the chaos. So it's
crazy. Man, I love my people, and I don't apologize.
Yeah. And again, we appreciate you for being a supporter. We see you supporting. We see you jumping in. Again, just jumping on here with us, and you busy. You know what I'm saying? You got legends. You know what I'm saying, that you say hold up for us. So we definitely appreciate that.
Definitely.
You are
everybody's
legendary.
time is valuable. Mine is too, and y'all is too.
That's a fact.
For sure. If you wasn't legendary before, you're damn sure legendary after yesterday. Okay. We all saw the video, Darren.
Absolutely.
You can't hide from us. We all saw it.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Darren. I loved every minute of it, and I want to give you your flowers now. Shout out to you, doing what a lot of people be scared to do, and asking questions that need to be asked, because it is an issue. And it needed to be brought to the light. So kudos to you, brother, for actually shaking the room that needed to be shook, because it needs to be changed. And we need more of our people up in them buildings, because we deserve it.
I'll be honest. Thank you so much. Look, I'll be honest.
I knew. Real quick, Darren. Let me make sure that people know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Darren sat down in a presser yesterday, and Roger Goodell had the mic, and in a nutshell, Darren basically asked, I'm gonna give it to Ashley flavor, where the hell is our people? Where the hell is our people? Where we at? Where we at up
Where
here?
We at?
Where we at on NFL?
Darren said he did the meme joint. I don't see him.
Where are African Americans
when
it comes to being employed in the NFL in a league that is
black.
Black,
not African Americans, black.
Facts. Black individuals working for the NFL. When you said it's 60% of the league is black,
minimum 60%.
Minimum 60% of the NFL players are black, and we can't find no black employees. And I think that you mentioned there's one full-time black employee. And asked that directly to Roger Goodell, and I will say the response was very cringy. But what's your response to the response, and just how you felt in that moment?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I knew what the commissioner would say, but the thing is, before I even was going to ask a question, I had to do my research. I had to call, put some phone calls in, and call some sources, and basically, just make sure that what the facts that I had before I went to ask the commissioner about it, that it was factual. So I knew as of that morning what the numbers were. So, whatever he was going to say was just going to be what he was going to say. And it wasn't, I'm not going to call him a liar or anything like that, but I had the facts on my side because I had contacted the network that morning to get, to get the data. So, and look, I mean, he said what he said, and I mean, we just let people take what he said at face value, and I wasn't going to go back and forth with the commissioner, whether or not it's one of those things where we, one of those things. Like I said, I'm not going to go back and forth with him because that's not the place, and that's not my place at a press conference to do something like that. So that's my response, really.
You on mute, Shooter?
You're on mute.
You're mute, Ashley. You gotta
mute. I'm always on mute. What's your response to like the internet's response?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't really realize it had blown up, I think, until we were at the opening night. Because I utilized my phone for interviews and stuff like that, so I didn't really, it wasn't dawning on me or anything like that. But when I got to the bus, the shuttle bus to get back, my phone was on like 4%, and I'm just seeing all these text messages and stuff blowing up or whatever about me being, Mark. Now Marcus sent me a picture that while I was in the press, like, hey, you're on TV. I figured, okay, I'd be on TV because I'm asking the question, but I didn't realize the reaction until later on that evening. And someone has sent Jim Trotter, the reporter from the last 2 years that had asked the question, a video clip of it, and he had tagged me and talked about it, and again, he didn't ask me. I didn't have no conversation with him about this. Hey, I'm about that. No, it wasn't how it was. Just as I told him, and as I said online, he matters, because I got a chance to meet him a few years back, and he's a man of conscience, and is someone that I'm a civil rights baby, but and he's older than me. Doesn't look like it, but but he's older than I am, and so, but he's just a conscious person. He's someone as well that did what he did because he wants to pay it forward. But it also makes sense, and people want to make it a race thing, but it's like, look, you can be proud of your heritage and stuff like that. However, if it would be like if BET was the NFL network and white folks complaining about how come there's no white folks running the news, being involved in the newsroom and stuff like that. And the thing is, we ain't even asking for the same percentage of what it is, for the players you cover. We're just asking for, start with one and let's go from there.
Just get us in there.
And get us in the door.
It's like we can't get that. And so when people talk about qualifications, well, who's to say that those people are qualified? Because people seem to forget about legacy and people. I like the guy. I met him, Chris Sims. But if you think Chris Sims got his job at NBC Sports because he's Chris Sims and not Phil Sims' son, come on now.
Hey, that's a fact.
I like Chris Sims, but I listen to it every morning, and the man's vocabulary leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah,
and so that's one of the things I was going to say to you too, because we all saw what happened to Jim Trotter after he did what he did last year in Media Row in the Super Bowl when he asked, Roger Goodell the same question pretty much. We saw what happened to him. So for you to go and do it again, it took guts because you never know what the future may hold or what's going to happen in the future after you do that based on what we saw last year with Jim Trotter. So I appreciate that from you for sure.
Lou, let me tell you one thing. It didn't take guts. It just took them calling on me because
you was going to do it regardless.
My mama, my mom would be first saying she only raised one bitch, and that was my sister. So and it's a few of us. So that's just how it is. So
hey,
I just needed to call on me because I kept hey man, I got a question. And so actually, that was initially my only question I was going to ask. But a gentleman had asked about Peacock and the streaming stuff earlier, and again, I'm a man of conscience, and so the thing is, I'm like, well, NFL, y'all trying to squeeze every little last dollar. So my first question was, if I could have only asked one question, it would have been, the question that went viral. But when a couple other people said they had a couple of questions, I said, oh, well, I'm asking a couple of questions too. So my first question was about, the streaming and, how much money is too much money for the NFL? Like, y'all going to start pricing the little guy out, and, he answered he started to answer.
I would like that. I wish that had went viral too.
Well, it's funny that got played on Pat McAfee show today, which was crazy.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Shout out to Pat McAfee.
Shout out to Pat McAfee.
Shout out to Pat.
Man, I was sitting there like, damn, I look good in that blue suit. But how it's a Tuesday suit. We got Wednesday coming tomorrow. But so, and it's funny. So I asked that question. The girl's trying to get the microphone. I said, I'm like, and you see me on TV, like, I got this, like, but I said I had another question. And so, so I asked the question, and, he said his response. And then afterwards, I went up to him and said, well, I'd like to follow up with you. So he tried to put off on somebody. When he said me go get with somebody else, I was like, oh, man, you ain't really trying to do nothing. So, but again, I don't have nothing against the commissioner. It's a question. Yeah. And, you just show your true colors. And so,
and to be honest, like, it just that little act, Darren, before we start getting into the football talk and the Super Bowl talk, just that act though, gives courage to the next person to ask those hard questions. Well, you know what I'm saying? Well,
here's the funny thing before we transition. People were coming up to me afterwards. Oh, I'm glad you asked the question. I was like, well, you could ask the question too, before I did. But again, that's. Yeah,
that's why I say like it took guts because I get what you were saying, right? But that's why I say it took guts because other people ain't gonna ask that question because they're gonna be afraid to see. They saw what happened last year, so they're gonna be afraid to go forward and ask that question. So, hey, like I always say, sometimes you just gotta drop your nuts and do what you gotta do. And
one last
thing
about that.
Balls pod.
Yeah. Well, one last thing about that. People make so like, oh, hope we don't get invited next year. Man, if I don't get invited, first of all, it was an invitation only, and I actually called like, yo, I want to come. But if I don't get invited, I'll just be right here on Radio Row. I mean, people like seem like I'm gonna be offended if I'm not invited, because if I don't do it, I can assure you somebody else is gonna ask the question. So you can do however you want to do, but somebody's gonna ask the question if it's not me or someone else. And so I said, man, look, first of all, I'll be back on Radio Row next year, unless God forbid something else happens, and if the Chiefs keep winning, I'll be back in New Orleans in the same situation. But at the end of the day, I don't regret it one bit. And if the situation comes again, hopefully somebody gets a chance to ask a question before I do. And
because you gonna ask. Darren said I'm asking next year too. If the numbers
trust me,
I'm
trust me.
next year too.
Well, here's the thing, and look, I'm gonna give them a year head start. If and when they call on me, because I'll be one of those people that just have my hand raised in the press conference until they call on me. It'll be on camera like this the whole time until they call on me. But if and when they do, I'll ask them the same question. I'll be like, Roger, with all due respect, I don't need people of color. I don't need minorities, because minorities include white women. I need to know how many blacks, 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 and we go from there.
No, that's a fact.
I love that. So let's talk your Chiefs.
Well, they're not my Chiefs. I just happen to cover people.
The Chiefs you cover, yeah.
And hold on, and look, I gotta say this. So people think, oh, you're a homer. That's you. I did not grow up a Chiefs fan. Please, I tell people I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm not. I actually grew up a Cowboys and a Niners fan. And people try to figure out, yes. And look, let me explain. Please, let me explain. Hold on. Let me help you all understand. In my household growing up, my dad was the assistant pastor. My mama was the administrative aide to my pastor, who was pastor church, and also a political figure. So and she sang in the choir. So on Sunday mornings, we're in Sunday school, church. I go to a spiritual. I'm spiritual by acclamation, whatever. Church started at 11 o'clock. If the Spirit had his way, it'd be 1 o'clock. If the Spirit had his way on steroids, then it'd be 1:30, 1:45.
We know all about that.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Okay,
that's a fact.
No. So I said it. So then, depending on if we're having dinner or whatever, the church community center, you boom, do that, and then of course, or as most families do, if you got. Mama goes home and cook or whatever. You got to get out the Sunday clothes or whatever in case you outside and play. Well, look, on the television, family came over. By that time, the Chiefs game probably would have been over with, because the Chiefs were bad in the 80s. And so they're not playing on late afternoon games. So in the late afternoon window, it was always the Cowboys or the 49ers. So if I'm not out playing or whatever, the grown-ups are watching television, they're watching football. The only team that was on was either the Cowboys or the 49ers. That's what I knew. When I got involved in the sports or whatever in high school and started playing football, the Cowboys, 92, Cowboys and the 49ers, those were the teams that were winning. That's just how it was. So and when I started covering the Chiefs, I tell people all the time, there were things about the Chiefs and the organization I didn't like, because I tell people growing up, as a kid, you learn to say yes, ma'am, no, sir, all that stuff. And I always felt like if I didn't, my mom would smack me upside the back of my head. So even when I'm in the locker room, and I'm in the locker room at 15 years old, mine is still kind of developing. And one thing, you just walking around seeing a whole bunch of naked men, you like, really? But what I'm saying, but then also just seeing how they interact with the media, and you're like, man, that's some disrespectful people. And then seeing the PR and the staff, and then and then I remember being at Joe Montana's retirement thing when he retired from the Chiefs in the NFL. They were just like real dismissive of people. Myself, good. I'm a junior, senior in high school at the time. I'm like, man, this is how y'all treat people. So that turned me off from the organization in general. Now, you get older, more mature. I have relationships with the players off the court, or off the field, because we go to the same barber and stuff like that. We'll see each other, and stuff that I know or stuff that we talk about is going to be off the record, not on camera, stuff like that. So stuff that y'all see on camera is one thing, but then I'll get the real and off camera. So that's just how it is. So I root for the players because I want them to be successful. I tell them their success is my success. I like going to the Super Bowl. I like it. So their success for them equals my success.
Fact.
Now, if they lose, I mean, it happens. Everybody loses. I was there in 2020 when they lost to Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. That was hard for me. I couldn't say to them, I ain't gonna do the press. It was 33-9. I was like, man, I got the car and went back to my Airbnb. I was hot. So, because I lost a lot of money that day because,
man,
if I knew they weren't going to score only but 3 field goals, come on, man, I'd have placed a lot of different bets.
Let me get to these questions with you, Darren. All right, so real quick, you're fine. Listen, we've seen the way that the Chiefs season has gone. We've seen how it's unfolded. Just wasn't one of the best seasons that we've seen since Mahomes has been, at quarterback. And lo and behold, they're here again. They made it back to the Super Bowl, going up against the 49ers. And this is a rematch, but it's kind of not a rematch. So I want to know, just based on what you've seen, what's the one thing that you're confident about with the Chiefs before I let you go? What's the one thing? What's that driving thing that make you feel like they're gonna pull this bad boy off?
That defense. That defense about that action, boss. That's all I got to say. Like, they're physical. Justin Reed, when he came in last year, brought some physicality when he was playing at Houston. I mean, and they're just physical, man. And they feel like they play with a chip on the shoulder, like they've been disrespected. Like, Trent McDuffie got all the All-Pro honors and the stuff like that. When even he'll tell you it should have gone to L'Jarius Sneed. And when I say, do the entire season, every number one wide receiver that he went up against, shut him down. Every wide receiver. We talking about Diggs. We talking about Devontae Adams. Any and everybody that came up got shut down against him. And so, again, to me, if you're going to get the Chiefs, you better get all the points in the first half, because like the last 8-9 games, the most they've given up in the second half is only 7 points. So for me, if there was a reason why I would pick them to win this game, it's because of their defense.
Before I let you go, and again, we really appreciate you for jumping in. We know you got a lot going on. You've been doing an incredible job. Your coverage is dope. So on the way out, though, and real quick, can you let everybody know where they can follow you? Because I think it's Darren Smith NFL. Is that just on your Instagram?
Instagram and Twitter.
It is the same on Twitter. Okay.
Yeah,
so make sure y'all follow him.
Find me at Darren Smith on Facebook. I think Darren Smith 816.
Perfect. Make sure that y'all follow him. Who's the one person on the Niners, the one thing that makes you nervous with San Francisco?
Honestly, it would be people think it's Chris McCaffrey, but it's actually Deebo Samuel. Deebo's what makes that offense go. He's the big, because if you saw the game before the NFC Championship game, when he got hurt, you saw just how different that offense looks. I guess it was against Green Bay. That offense, if he's healthy and they got things clicking, I mean, look, they're hard to beat. Now, I will say this: I like to remind people about it. Kansas City, because I was there, they went into San Francisco last year. Well, calendar year 2 years ago. They had Chris McCaffrey. I think that might have been the first game, but he played the entire game. You had Chris McCaffrey, you had Deebo, you had Ayuk, you had Trent Williams, you had all them boys on defense. And the Chiefs went into San Francisco and knocked them out 44-23. That's all I'm gonna say. So, again, and the defense wasn't even as good as it is this year.
Well, we're going to see. We have been talking all week about just how this is just going to be such a good game. I'm one of them people that really think it's going to come down to coaching. But, it's a lot of people that ain't betting against Mahomes. They just at that point where they're not betting against Mahomes. So we are excited to see more of your coverage. And we, again, just thank you for what you did yesterday, what you're doing in general, again, not charging us for your time, being readily available. And he was available the moment I asked. So we appreciate you for jumping on, Darren.
Not a problem. And to answer DJ's question.
Oh, you seen it? I was about to ask you that.
Yeah. It's
brother.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, one
he
of the two
says,
things.
for those that can't see, ask him what's a better option: beef on bun from Gates or burnt ends from LC's.
Well, since they're both black-owned establishments, I'm not going to slander or pick one of the other. But because Gates is my sponsor, I would say get the ribs from Gates, because that's my thing.
Them ribs, boy.
Hey, DG. Hey, DG, I might be in Kansas City the end of April, brother.
But thank you. I know you got another guest coming on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
We
so much
really appreciate you for being on, and we will see you in Sports After Dark, of course.
Nah, we appreciate you, Darren, and we got you next time. We got you.
We got you. We got you, man.
You want the priority list.
We gotta put you on. We gotta put you on the priority list, like TSA. We gotta put you on. We gotta put you on the TSA list.
I was gonna say, look, I got pre-TSA and clear. You know what I'm saying?
We got your pre-check. We got you a pre-check.
We got you a pre-check.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for tapping in.
Anytime.
Appreciate you, brother.
Oh man, Darren is dope. We really appreciate that was a great interview, great appearance.
Yeah.
That's crazy to learn that he's not actually a KC fan.
Not a KC fan, and then started so early. I didn't know he started that early.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, it's just like the youngin that that do the.
I was talking about him last night. Yeah. I'm like, yo, for him to be 11 years old, he's pretty sharp. But he's 11 years old, man.
He started at like 7, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, young boy, he's sharp. He crisp.
Young bull be on it for real.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was impressive.
We appreciate y'all for hanging around and sticking in. The party ain't stopping with Darren. Okay, we got our guy, Mr. Eric Crocker in the building. He is already backstage. We about to bring him on. But from one coast to one part of the country to the next, you know what I'm saying? Representing for the 49ers. Oh, Croc, what is going on? Former NFL player, podcast producer of Locked On 49ers. Thank you for joining Sports After Dark After Hours. How are you?
I'm good. I know it's after hours for y'all. For me, we on the West Coast, so 5:30.
Yeah, West Coast, the best coast, baby. West Coast, the best coast. Yeah.
Hey, y'all ain't got to tease us because it's still early for y'all over there.
It's 5:30 over here, man.
It's bad time over here, Croc. You know what I'm saying? Like it's bad time. You know what's funny? As I was actually in LA for the Super Bowl two years ago, and my God, the Super Bowl is over like 7:00 out there. Yeah. It's still light outside. I'm like, what the? I was asking Gunnels. I'm like, okay, so now what we do? Because
you got time to go do activities.
Like the after parties didn't start till like 9-10 o'clock. So we like, okay, so what we doing for the next 2 hours? Because it's crazy West Coast with these type of games.
I like it, whether it's when games end or really when games start as well, especially NFL Sundays. You wake up, eat a bowl of cereal, and all of a sudden the games are starting. So I don't think it gets any better than how we have it on the West Coast.
You like the morning games like that?
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
I love it. Wake up. Really? I mean, you really have games all day, and by the time they end, it's like you're cool. Like now, I've lived all over, right? I've lived on every coast, every part of the United States for the most part, and I do not like the late starts to games. I remember when I was in New York, we were in Jersey, and I'd be up trying to watch my Lakers, and this game don't start till 10:30 p.m. Like, what is this?
That's true.
I feel like I fell asleep every by second quarter of every game. I was knocked out.
I feel you on that, Croc. Cause it's like that. I gotta work the next game. I mean, the next day, and this game coming on at 10:30 at night. Yeah, I feel you on that.
Y'all know I'm a South baby. I'm from Florida. So, but living on the West Coast and like 6:30, like when they had the London games and stuff, 6:30 a.m. Wake up, watch football. After that game, you got the 10 o'clock game. It's lit.
You know what? Maybe I would have to adapt because Black people on the East Coast, we got a ritual. On Sundays, you get up.
Yep.
You go to church. You start cooking, and the next thing you know, it's 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Them games is on.
That is
the games.
That's the one thing we do miss here on the West Coast. Having that not the option. Choose church first, but this Sunday before the game, I'm gonna go to church, and by the time I get out of church, it's like, all right, you still get to kind of get some things done, run some errands, and then the Super Bowl is starting around 3:30.
It's that bulk of you can do some stuff before
you can make some stuff shake.
Hey, but like Darren said, if it's the extra, the extra on Sunday, then you not getting to those errands.
For sure, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I'll be like, all right, Pastor, it's time to.
Oh my God, we
hey, Pastor, football starting. Come on now.
He gave the pastor the hook. Like, all right, you got to get off stage.
It's time you remember Dave Chappelle skit? Wrap this up, B.
Yeah, wrap this up, my brother.
Take your time. No, hell no.
Nah, don't you didn't have enough time.
At 1 o'clock. Not today, Pastor.
I gotta get home.
Not today. Look, again, we appreciate you for jumping on, Croc, man. You know, we know you busy. You got a lot going on. You're in Vegas.
Nah, I was in Vegas over the weekend for 7-on-7 tournament. We took our kids out there to the battle 7-on-7 tournament. You know, people flying in from all over. So, you know, we spent a little time out there Friday through Sunday, but I left right before all the real stuff started popping off.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Eric, former NFL player, man, with the Jets, and he is so locked in on his content creation. So I need to know, like, how did content creation life start for you? Like, what did you look yourself in the mirror one day and be like, self, you gonna be one of the dopest 49er content creators? You know what I'm saying? How did that start for you?
That's a great question. Okay, so when I was a kid, I think everybody's like, oh, I want to go to the NFL, or I want to be a firefighter, or whatever it is you want to be. Well, I grew up watching Stuart Scott. Like, I've always been infatuated with sports. So I wanted to be on ESPN. Now, once I got about 5th, 6th grade, I realized I don't quite have a voice for ESPN. And then, you know, I'm kind of from the hood and stuff. So I was like, you know what, that might not be my route. And it's crazy as far as content creator, that whole thing started popping up. I've always loved sports, and you know, I'm on Twitter, and I feel like I was one of the pioneers of this. But how this all started was I would see the 49er fans like on my timeline. Maybe I had 2,000 followers at this time, not a whole bunch, but maybe I followed a few 49er people, and they would complain about like a defensive back not getting his head around or something. And I would, this was before all the film breakdowns and all that type of stuff, but I would record the clip with my phone, and then I would post the clip to Twitter and break down like what I was seeing. You know, like, okay, it's not as simple as you say, you know, this is what he needs to be doing, or this is what happened, this made it more difficult or whatever. And people were like, oh man, like, thanks. So I started doing that. And then it went to the Senior Bowl. So the Senior Bowl started, and they would just show the one-on-ones. So I would record all the one-on-ones and really just kind of break down, like, you know, what was bad technique or what was really good by the receiver, what threatened the cornerback. So within breaking those things down, just different things just started popping up. The first one was my guy. Well, actually, it was my guys from Nothing But Niners. They asked me if I wanted to write for them. I said, I ain't no writer, man, but if y'all want somebody to talk football, I can do that. And they're like, all right. So I would, you know, talk with them every once in a while. And then my guy, Dylan DeSimone, he had hit me, and he's like, hey, it's just me. I have this blog. Do you want to write for me? I said, I don't write. I'm not a writer. He said, oh, don't worry. You don't got to be a writer. Just write down whatever you see, how it plays out in your mind, and then I'll fix it, you know? So I'm like, all right. So I started doing that. The articles started taking off. Next thing you know, I'm credentialed to be a member of the 49ers media for training camp. I was credentialed for games. And that was really wild in itself. And then from there, it just started taking off between my breakdowns of defensive backs on you know, college football prospects, and people started really valuing that. I started getting hit up by different kind of networks and things to get on their platforms or the radio, and one thing just continued to kind of lead to another. So I don't think I ever said to myself, like, oh, I want to be a content creator, but I was just really passionate about football. And then fortunately for me, my passion for talking football led to being able to monetize off of it. So that was kind of how it really started for real.
Wow.
So I got a question for you, Croc, because I've seen you you brought up the Senior Bowl, you brought up, you know, the DBs and everything. And I saw a post from you the other day talking about Cam Hart at the Senior Bowl. I think he was number 2 at the Senior Bowl from Notre Dame. And you was talking about his technique and all that stuff. Because I mean, I didn't make it to the league, but I play football, and that's my passion too. As far as, like, you know, I don't care about writing. I don't care about none of that. I just want to talk ball. Like, let me just talk ball. But what do you think about Cam Hart? I saw you talking about him the other day and talking about some of his technique. But what do you think about him? And selfishly, I'm a Colts fan. We need some more DBs. So that's really why I'm asking.
So I don't know yet. Somebody just hit me on Twitter, and he's like, you ready to talk about the corners? I said, not yet, but send me a list of guys. I'll watch them, break them down, then I can come on your show. That was all I've seen from him. There were 2 clips, and they were kind of opposite from a technique standpoint. So without even really knowing much about him, I would say off of those 2 clips, I saw 2 different guys. So can I get a little bit more consistency? Because that's the difference in the NFL, right? You get to the league, everybody's talented. Like, everybody can make plays. It's who's going to make plays most consistently or not mess up, right? And it's good on good at that level. So part of it is, how consistent can you be? And the technique part of it is going to make you the most consistent between the technique part and the mental aspect, which is even bigger, especially at that level. But for him, there was one rep where I felt like the way he kind of he was good initially, right? With his feet, he use what I always say, use your press with your feet. I always tell my guys, press with your feet, press with your feet. Essentially means like get yourself in position by using your feet to get hands on, right? So he did that, got hands on. Where he lost the guy in the bad rep was on his turn and run. And most of my guys, I always tell them, we have to really emphasize in our training, keeping your speed on your turn and run, because, if I had you guys run and I say, hey, look back and run, you'd slow down. But you have to really practice keeping your speed and getting in phase, looking lean as you get your head around. And that was where he lost the receiver. But then on a good rep, I thought he did a tremendous job of, again, pressing with his feet, made the receiver work laterally, got hands on, and he did a really good job of what I call dick to hit, which essentially is just not working upfield. He read the receiver down, sat down on the route, interception. It was a beautiful rep. So I have not seen anything other than those two reps, but I really like the way he competed there.
Yeah, and like you said, turning your head too soon. So like I play receiver, right? So our thing was don't put your hands out too quickly. Like you run through the ball, lay hands, yeah. So I like to watch the DBs and I like to watch the receivers and how they work and things like that. And when I say things about receivers, people, they give me hell. So you early Twitter and where everybody's appreciative, it's not so much like that nowadays.
Oh no, trust me, man. I feel it. I've been blocked by I get blocked by a lot of people. And just for having a differing of opinion, which is crazy because like, dude, I'm like the coolest dude. Like, just ask or whatever your opinion is, like that's cool. But especially college, people take that stuff real serious. So I've been blocked by like Alabama fans because I didn't have Patrick Surtain at CB1. I like JC Horn just a little more. It's like, oh, you got JC Horn. It's like you would have thought I disrespected Surtain, like or something. And he's been terrific. I think they were more right than I was at that time. We're seeing how it's played out so far. He's one of the better young corners in the league. I think JC Horn was trending in that trajectory, but the injuries have kind of slowed things down a little bit. But dude, I hear all that as well. You have opinions. People don't like when your opinion is slightly different than other people.
I have a quick question. Because I used to coach Pop Warner football, so I still miss it to this day, being around the youth and coaching them. So I want to ask you, what is the best thing you like? Because I see you coach high school players, right?
Yeah, I train every level for real.
Okay, so like I see you in the mix with them. Like, what is the best thing you get out of being a coach for like the younger generation?
Oh, best thing, man, going to their college games. I'd say by far. I got to watch my guy Jonah Coleman this year at Arizona. And, I coached him since he was in middle school and worked with him a lot. And to go to, week one, watch him in Arizona and what that looked like. I had a couple more kids at San Jose State, got some kids at UNLV, Jacob, my guy Jacob DeJesus, who is an All-American for being a punt returner. I would say that's the biggest reward more than anything, just being able to go on Saturdays, travel to wherever they're playing and watch them play.
Nice. I know that. Yeah, it's a dope feeling, man. I be looking at y'all like that. Croc make me want to kind of coach football again. I just got to make the time for it because it's
but these kids, bro, they different. So I talk about the good ones, right? I'm talking about the ones the ones that listen to you, the ones that like really bought in, right? But that's like a small percentage of them. Most of them, they're gonna give you headaches. They're going to do what they want to do, and then you also see some wild stuff. I've had some of my kids pass away, unfortunately, and all kind of other stuff, and that's hard. So the best part is watching them in college. The worst part is all the other things that can kind of happen after you develop these relationships with guys.
Yeah, that's pretty dope what you're doing.
I can't coach.
I loved it, but I could get where Croc doing because Croc coaching a group that is like they think they grown, they feel like you can't tell them nothing. So I praise you, Croc. You got to have a lot of patience to coach that group.
Yeah, and that's why I can't coach, young. I ain't got the patience.
Hey, listen, Croc, before because I do want some takes from you for the 49ers before, I know we ain't keeping you forever. Before though, who has? Do people say that you sound like a certain person? Who do you get the most?
The only, I mean, I've gotten it a couple times. I'd say the biggest one was the coach of where's he at, man? Was he at like the Peacocks or something? Or he had like a Cinderella run, bald head coach, he bald head like me. His voice was just like mine.
The New Jersey team basketball.
Yeah, and he had got a new job for like St. John's, or he's at like a bigger school now.
Who is it?
But that's like the biggest one.
They said it
was identical. Like even I couldn't deny it. It was identical.
Anybody say you sound like Easy?
St. Peter's.
Yeah, St. Peter's.
Yeah.
Anybody ever say you sound like Easy?
I haven't heard Easy. My dad used to call me Easy, but I'm like, I don't want to be Easy. I don't want to go with
No.
He don't want that on his.
Oh my God!
He don't want that on his name. He don't want that on his name.
My bad. Explain that from the record. My bad.
No, but we got the same name. So he's Eric. I'm Eric. So hey, man, you know, I'm a little taller, so. And I think that's where our similarities stop, like maybe the voice and the name.
That's it right there. That's all I was talking about, the voice. That's it. So your 49ers, man. Well, you and Hev, y'all 49ers back in the big game, back in the Super Bowl in Vegas. Rematch against the Chiefs. You know, I like to say that I hate both teams. Croc, you already know how I roll. You know I don't like y'all. Y'all don't like me and us in Dallas. That's fine. Whatever. I don't know who to pick. I'm not picking anybody. I'm picking Usher. It's just
pick the over or pick the under. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Just hope for a tie. Like
tie, something that doesn't crown either team. That would be okay with me, as you can see.
Co-champions.
but let me ask you this: win or lose? Listen, for the most part, arguably, y'all have been considered the best team in the league, especially on the NFC side. So it's not a big surprise to folks that y'all are here. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, arguably the best team in the NFC. Y'all had some, little, hiccups, especially with the Ravens and stuff,
You said arguably the best? I'm just making sure I heard that right. When you said arguably the best team in the NFC.
All right, fine.
Yeah, it's not an argue.
All right.
Okay.
Not an argument.
Y'all was the best team in the NFC all year. Y'all good?
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Yeah. Win or lose, you going in to the Chiefs, you seeing Travis Kelce, you seeing Patrick Mahomes. They've been here, the experience. You walking in with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Debo, a host of just talent, and just this is just going to be such a good game. We've been talking about how excited we are all week. Win or lose, though, I do want to know, what are your 3 expectations of the Niners? 3. Give me 3 things that you expect. Win or lose in this game?
I would say better effort early on than the 49ers gave against Detroit Lions. You see some of the, whether it's missed tackles or bad pursuit, giving up on plays early. I feel like that was very uncharacteristic of the 49ers. Now, they've missed a lot of tackles, especially the second half of the season. So the missed tackles, I can understand that. But, man, the lackluster effort, that's something you typically have not seen from a Kyle Shanahan coach, defense or offense. So I would say I would expect to see that look better. I would expect to see the 49ers big guys show up, and really specifically Debo Samuel. I think these are like the moments that you see the best version of him and he kind of turns into that dog. And probably Fred Warner too, like having some of their best games. Like win or lose, I think those are 3 things you should see. Better effort than we've seen the last couple of weeks throughout the entirety of the game. Debo Samuel just terrorized, for better or for worse, in the sense of the outcome of the game, and Fred Warner really showing up.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I feel like if that happened, though, Croc, we win. If they show up like that.
Well, you never know, because I feel like those guys kind of showed up when the 49ers lost to Kansas City in 2019, right? Like Debo showed up, and it's like, I guess we're just going to stop giving them the ball. So, the effort was there, but it was just not enough when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes on the other side and what he's capable of doing. So there's still a way. Knock on wood. Hopefully, the 49ers don't lose, but they can play some of their best football from their big guys, and still, it comes down to a play or two that doesn't go their way.
Right.
So what are your thoughts? Obviously, this has been a topic of discussion for the more than half of the later half of the season. I feel like we've been talking about it forever. Game changer versus game manager. Cam gets on, he throw Dak in there, he throw Brock Purdy in there. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy? Jesus Christ. Purdy is crazy. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy, the game manager? Do you feel like, I don't know how to ask. I hate that Cam even made this a thing because now I feel like we got to ask the question. But how do you feel about Brock Purdy in general, man? You've been a second-year guy coming in. Y'all, it's a possibility had he not gotten hurt last year, this could have been his second bid to the Super Bowl in his first 2 years had he not got hurt. So what are your thoughts on Brock Purdy and then the comments on him being a game manager?
Oh, man, I think Brock has done, everything that he's asked to do and some, some of the times. I think, we're conditioned to think or know what, an elite quarterback looks like and how they do things, right? And I think Brock, when you watch him, it kind of is not going to look the same as Justin Herbert. It's not going to look the same as Mahomes or Josh Allen, some of these guys with a more elite skill set. But I think for Kyle Shanahan, he doesn't really need that at the quarterback position. I think he tried to get that with Trey, and he didn't have the time for that to develop in the way that it needed to be. So you have a guy like Brock who's able to come in, see the field the way Kyle does. His strength of his was playing with timing and rhythm. And, every once in a while, if he needs to make a play with his legs, we've seen him be capable of doing that. He'll probably shy away from some of the throws that other guys can make. And I think he should. But for the most part, I think he's in a great situation for him, whether it's the supporting cast or his ability to do the things that Kyle needs him to do. So game manager, game changer, whatever it is, I think it's been really good for the 49ers.
I hate it. I hate that he's been this good, Brock. Like, he has been
it's
good.
Okay.
But guess what? Listen, him, Dak, they both show that they're not just game managers. I'm gonna throw him in there every time I get a chance.
You can't. You got to separate him from Dak.
How? For what? I don't know what you mean.
Because he got 4 playoff wins and Dak has 2.
I'm talking about how he manages the game, not the wins. Wins are
he managed to win games.
He managed the game.
He managed to win games.
All right.
Hey, some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time are game managers.
Before we let you go, Crocker, again, we appreciate you for jumping on. I do have a question before we send you on your way. Can you let everybody know first where they can find you? Is it your @ everywhere?
Well, you guys can follow me on Twitter or X at Crocky209. I've been trying to change my Instagram name to that, but for whatever reason, it just won't let me. I've been trying for like a year, like just trying to change my Instagram name. But if you type in Eric Crocker, I'm sure I'll pop up. And then also Locked On 49ers. That's myself, Brian Peacock. We come at you 5 days a week. Right now, it's a top 15 sports show in the world on Apple. So, that's pretty dope.
Nice.
Number one 49ers
no
podcast.
Way. That's dope.
Yeah, man. Me, my co-host Peacock, man. We try to bring a good balance. And we try to remove the fandom, from whether it's our takes or just how we speak about the 49ers and talk about what we see. I think sometimes fans hate that, but we bring a perspective of it's never as good as you think and it's never as bad as you think. And we talk about everything in between. So Locked On 49ers, if you aren't listening to it, make sure y'all tune into that.
Please do. Top 15.
Do,
apparently they love
That's
to
really
hate
dope,
you.
brother.
They love to hate you, apparently, if it's top 15.
Even
my
if
goodness.
they hate, they're still going to listen.
And that's the thing I'm trying to learn better with now, Croc, because, being a 49ers fan, you try to be as honest as you can about the team. And I'm learning that everybody don't like when you're being honest. They want you to be biased all the time.
They want you to have the same opinion as them.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, then you're going to hear from it. But, we just keep it rocking. And I think sometimes, as a matter of fact, and this for everybody out there, if you give an opinion, there's always going to be like those few people that get highly upset or, emotional over something. But everywhere I've gone or I'll be anywhere and people will be like, oh man, I love the show. You hear more hate than you hear love, but when you see these people, they show a hell of love. So anytime I'm at a game, hell, I just told you we were in Las Vegas and we're leaving. We're on our way out, about to drive back to Stockton, California. And we were in the wrong turn lane. So I roll the window down and I'm asking these people like, hey, I waved to them like, hey, can you let us by? We are in the wrong lane. Can you let us by so we can turn? And the dude said, Croc, bang, bang, Niner gang. Like, I don't know who this guy is, but there are way more people show love. So I talk about the people that different opinions and whatnot, but I think that's a small percentage of the people that really rock with you for real.
You got to remember, fan is for short for fanatic. So
yes, sir.
They're going to be crazy every chance they get.
Yeah, man. Well, we really, again, appreciate you for being here, Croc, taking your time out. Again, we know you're a busy guy. Again, one of the dopest content creators in the game. Definitely goals over here for Sports After Dark After Hours. Before I let you go, what's your confidence level for y'all winning this game on a scale of 1 to 10?
I say it's like a 6.5.
Okay, and is that
the thing that scares me is, and there's some things that the Chiefs have going, for them. I think, obviously defense much improved. They're playing very well, but at the end of the day, man, this game is going to come down to a few plays that are made or not made, and Patrick Mahomes just figures out a way to make those plays, and it's scary as hell. So I think that the 49ers overall have a better team. And I think, this is probably the best offense the 49ers have had in this run. But when you got Mahomes on the other side, he's kind of like Michael Myers to me. It's like you got to cut his head off. And that's the only way that you come out alive on this one. So I'm confident because I think the 49ers are a better team. I think they're well coached. But Mahomes, he always scares me, man. He's kind of the boogeyman right now. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm confident. Yeah. But again, as long as Mahomes is on the field, I'm always going to be a little, is that guy.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I get it. All right, man. Well, we appreciate you for tapping in, being in the club, folks loving you in the comments. I think somebody asked if your facility was still open.
Okay. So, here, one more thing real quick.
Go ahead.
So I had lived in Arkansas for a few years. It was something that kind of just happened. But in the midst of building it, that was when my content stuff really took off. And, making a lot more money than I had ever expected from content creating. And it kind of got to a point where I couldn't do both. I tried to, and, it ended up cutting, I had to cut back on stuff. I had the Locked On Draft show. I had to cut back on that and didn't do that anymore. So now my income was cut in half, and, you're making, just to be transparent, $16,000, $17,000, $18,000 a month. Then you cut that in half. Now you're making $8,000, $9,000 a month off your content. And then if your gym isn't breaking even, you got to dig in your pockets even more. That's hard, right? Like it's hard to be like, oh man, I'm cool making good money every month. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, babe, okay, we'll pay this bill right now. And then we should pay this bill. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I don't work hard like this to live like this. So I ended up being able to sell my house and the gym and then come back to Cali. So I did lose a decent amount of money, but I was able to get out of it without owing. And I had some good people out there in Arkansas to take care of me. But yeah, so that's what happened with the gym. I was not, if you're going to do anything like any business, content creating, a gym, training, whatever, you have to be able to put your all into it. And I made so much money streaming, I could never put my all into my gym the way I needed to.
Yeah, that's a good.
You said you can't half step, can't be half stepping.
That's a great gem you drop. People are loving you in the comments, Croc. Of course, they going to tap into the show, and you're a great guest. And again, we appreciate you for being on. So we look forward to the rest of your content for the week. I would say good luck in the Super Bowl, but have fun.
Hey, listen, you only you only think Patrick Mahomes is Michael Myers when you can't beat him. According to, for the Colts, we beat him all the time, so it ain't no big deal.
Oh my life. There you go.
They beat them one time. Was it once? More than once?
Yeah, we beat Patrick Mahomes all the time.
All the time is crazy. Hey, probably one time. All right,
we did lose to him in the playoffs, though. I ain't gonna lie. We lost to him that one time in the playoffs. That crash.
We're gonna try. All right, Croc, we're gonna let you go, man. We appreciate you for tapping in. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your Super Bowl.
All right, y'all have a good one. Thanks for having me on.
Yes,
appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Oh man, what a great show, guys! You always got to throw them Colts in there.
He gonna always throw the Colts in there.
Hey, you already know I'm a right. You lucky I didn't bring up the Colts and the 49ers.
Hey. It's all right though. You already know.
Hey, 2025, we in.
Yeah, you know. If it's in Indianapolis or Cali, we are going to that game.
Croc
Absolutely.
definitely did sound like Roscoe a little bit. Now that I think about it, he definitely did.
I meant to ask him. He from Stockton. I meant to ask him if he knew my boy Joe.
I love the gems that Croc dropped, as far as content creating, being a content creator, what it will take, what you got to block out and do to keep moving forward. So we definitely appreciate him for tapping in, and we appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all rocked the entire time with both guests. Again, a special thanks to Darren Smith for jumping on earlier. And again, Eric Crocker for jumping on just now. We ain't done, y'all. Y'all favorite Twitter individuals, Sports After Dark folks, are going to be here on Thursday. That's the next show. We keeping this media week rolling. We got 4 guests coming on Thursday. So you know what I'm saying? We smoking. We gonna have this thing rolling on Thursday. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in. Barbershop Talk. You always jump in here last minute.
Hey, shout out to them.
You missed it, Barbershop Talk.
Shout out to Barbershop.
I will say this. This is what y'all got set up, Barbershop, because I like how they talk sports on there. You got to set up a joint where we are all on there with them. I like how they. I like how they rock over there. Yeah, they're dope. They're dope. Yeah, shout out to them, man. I enjoyed their show earlier for sure.
Yeah. So again, we appreciate y'all for tapping in. Again, go grab some merch. If you're not, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe, share this channel. Look at that merch. There you go, that merch right there.
Get you that hat. Get you a hat.
Yeah, get you a
hat.
I
ain't gonna lie. Hey, I wore to because I had to go take Bray to go get some baseball stuff on Sunday. Because he about to get in coach pitch on, and starting in March. I'm excited. Excited for that. My little boy be playing them sports. But anyway, I wore the hat out, right? And so the dude at Dick's Sporting Goods, he was like, "Hey, what's Sports After Dark?" So I had to drop a gem to him, let him know.
Hey, I went to the grocery store with mine's on, my hoodie, and the lady was like, "What's Sports After Dark?" The cashier was like, "What's Sports After Dark?" I was like, "Oh, that's the goal. That's the goal."
And I told he asked me if we talk hockey. I was like, "Nah, we ain't got into hockey yet, but I'm pretty sure we'll work into that. It's mostly basketball, football, whatever." But I was like, "We'll work into that. We're
gonna get versatile with it.
Yeah, we're gonna get versatile with it.
I love that.
That's dope.
Yeah, so grab you some merch. We got the mugs. We got some mouse pads and stuff coming, and shirts.
Yeah, you see that?
Y'all see that?
Y'all see that?
Y'all see it. You know what I'm saying? So again, we appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure you follow the Instagram and the Twitter page. Make sure you're in the Twitter community. Make sure y'all follow each other in the comments. Follow each other so we can all stay connected. Lou, hell of a show, hell of a week so far with our guests. Y'all got anything before we roll?
Just appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate everybody, that rock with us. Hey man, it's gonna be a lit week, man. Hey, and next year we in that thing.
Oh yeah. We already said. Hey, is Ashley? She's still in the comments.
We gonna
rap.
We're working on that
because we damn sure
research.
We already been doing research. We damn sure making NOLA happen for sure.
Next year you catching us from NOLA, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
All right, y'all. Well, we appreciate y'all again for tapping in. Y'all know the vibes. In the meantime, in between times, see y'all on the timeline. We're just gonna go ahead and do what we do and let Wes take us home.
To be honest, I'm Giannis inside of Game 6. Dropping 50 and dunking over your main. Earnhardt Jr. when I'm deciding the lane switch. Tell them people that I'm on top of the game. Manifested my future by spewing all of my pain. Carry my own umbrella, surviving treacherous rain. Landed on higher learner, matriculate in the bigger earnest. So after dark helps you to find your purpose. To find what work is, to find the surface. When deeper in it, I'm heavy with ashes, burning curses. Built up our name, so forever we reign.